Welcome back. So an author just turned the story of his son's adoption into a fairy tale, and now you can read it with your own little ones. Author Swain Ferguson and illustrator Veronica Stanley Hooper in studio with us this morning to talk about their new book. Adam, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Veronica,
Liz.
good morning. Thank you so much for being with us, and congrats on the book.
Oh, thank you so much.
So talk a little bit about this. So this is a children's book, which is kind of different for an adoption story. I feel like you usually hear about books for adults, but this is kind of unique here.
Yeah, so shortly after my son was born, I always wanted to be open with him about, where he came from in his own story. And so after he was born, I was filling up the nursery with all kinds of books. And most of the ones I found on adoption were all about like the mechanics, the status, or the pride, which is so amazing. But I didn't find anything that approached it from like a narrative point of view. And as a storyteller and a producer, I'm like, let me create something for him. And so I started telling him a bedtime story every night that, as I continued to just create it, I'm like, oh, this is actually really good. Let me write it down. And I quickly got connected with Veronica through a mutual friend, and Love Without Wings was born.
Oh, sorry. I wanted to grab the. I grabbed it right off here.
No, sorry. Those are the stickers.
I want to look at it because I mean it really is beautifully illustrated. It's so pretty here. I mean, this had to be a journey as well to not just write the story, but to see it come to life, right?
Absolutely, and it's one I'm really grateful that we got to take together, because we would, the benefit of being in the same town is we could get together at the Starbucks and we could talk about the journey, and Veronica would say, tell me how you were feeling in this moment, what was this like, and then she would create from there.
Yeah. That's really amazing. And I do have to ask, you said that you came up with the story telling a bedtime story to your child?
Yeah. My son is adopted, and after he was born, I don't think that you can introduce the subject too early.
Yeah.
And so from the time he was about a month old, I would just start to make something up as I would rock him to sleep at night and just tell it over and over and over until one day I wrote it down. And
I was going to say, that was actually my next question. So did it evolve? It sounded like it was sort of an evolution that just kept changing.
It kept changing. In fact, even as Veronica was illustrating it, it would change a little bit. I'm like, no, I think this actually works a little bit better. Can we modify the illustration just a little bit? Yeah. And
Veronica, talk a little bit about the illustration process. What is that like to make that, like you said, to make that sort of dream come to reality?
This project was different than any other that I had done before, and in the sense that it's telling a family's real story. So it was really, we talked a lot together about what Adam wanted to see on the pages, and I knew that I wanted to make it realistic and painterly, and more like a classic fairy tale.
I really see that in these pictures. I'm curious if you used any symbolism in some of the illustrations.
We did.
There's a lot of it.
Really?
Yeah. So the fairy trail that you see going through the glittery trail, each of the kings has a stone in their crown, and you'll see that the color of the stone is in the fairy trail, and the fairy herself is a turquoise color, and she's also a part of the trail. So all of them come together in a magical way.
This is really beautiful.
Yeah.
That's really fantastic. And so you said that you started telling these bedtime stories, as soon as you could.
Yeah.
So how old is your son now?
Oh, he's a year and a half this month.
Oh, wow.
It's crazy. He's gotten so big, and he gets very handsy with the book, so I can't actually read him the book right now, but I still tell him the story every single night.
I feel like I want to keep in touch with you, and I want to find out what he thinks of the story as he grows up and starts to really understand it. I mean, that's got to be something special for your family.
It is so special for our family. And one of the other things, you were talking about symbolism a moment ago, I like to put like little Easter eggs when and where I can. So most of the places where you see the night sky is actually a chart of the sky over Reno, where he was born,
the
day he was born. Yeah. And Veronica was able to incorporate that for me.
Yeah, it's just such a really beautiful, this is a beautiful book. So, I mean, this is available now. It sounds like it's available everywhere. Or?
Yeah, it released last month in honor of National Adoption Month on National Adoption Day, November 19th.
Oh, nice.
And it can be purchased on Amazon, but also my website, purplefoxentertainment.com.
Oh, Adam, Veronica, thank you so much for being with us this morning. And thank you for for sharing this story. You're right. It's important, and there's not enough stories like this being told.
Thank you so much for having us. It's something that's truly special, so I'd love to keep in touch.
Absolutely. All right. Well, hey, there you go. It's called Love Without Wings. Adam Swain Ferguson and Veronica Stanley Hooper. Thank you so much again. Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Liz.
And so I spilled these awesome stickers all over. I was so handsy. Like your son, I'm very handsy with the book also. So. All right, Brian, we're going to send it over to you this morning.
Oh, good stuff. Thank you so much there, Liz. Let's take a look.